Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. First and foremost, I am absolutely feeling better. I know for the past couple of videos, my voice was sounding crazy. I was sick as a dog. I'm still not 100%. I'm still slowly but surely getting back to normal, but I am feeling significantly better. So I appreciate all of you reaching out, and hopefully this will all be completely knocked out very, very soon. A couple of days ago, we finished a live stream playthrough of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, specifically for the Gold Dragon Mythic Path. And a ton of you have reached out while I was on that run saying, hey, I know Owlcat added these updates for Gold Dragon Path. They added new mechanics, new deities, some new things to the story, etc., etc. Is it worth a brand new full playthrough? And so I'm going to answer that question while also giving you my thoughts on the run overall and where Wrath of the Righteous stands now. So first and foremost, I had an amazing time with the game. It's been over a year since the last time I did a full playthrough of Wrath of the Righteous, so there have been a bunch of content updates. I never had a full playthrough with Olbrig. I hadn't experienced a lot of the patches or new mythic feats and things of that nature that have been added to make the main quest even more impactful than it was at the time that I stopped playing. And I feel like many of these updates work really, really well. Most of the party members I used were utilizing some of the new classes. So I used a Shadowcaster for Woljif, which I had never done before, Insider for Camellia. My main character used Sable Company Marine, dashed into it just so I could get the Griffin. The Griffin was just absolutely amazing. Had a great time with this build. Honestly, the build that I use for that main character is probably the most destructive one I've ever played with in the game. It just felt so satisfying every single time I dive bomb into a group of enemies and wiped out the majority of them. So I think that pet is really, really cool. But there are obviously still very good reasons for you to go with a wolf or a dog. So not all powerful by any means, but a great option. And while we're going through this video, I know many of you had asked about a build. I don't think I'm going to do a separate build video, but while I'm talking, I'll just show some of the different feats and things that I took, so you'll be able to get an idea of what it is that I did to put it together. Another aspect of the run that I really enjoyed is that the game feels more stable than ever. Of course, I started right at launch when there were a ton of bugs and a ton of problems. So I've seen this game at its very worst, and absolutely, it's a long way from that. Honestly, I can't remember any serious issues occurring during my entire playthrough. There was one, maybe two times that the game crashed, but both times when I loaded back up, the game told me, hey, one of your mods crashed and consequently we can't help you. You would need to reach out to the author of that mod. And so I'm not even sure that it's something within the actual game that caused it to crash as opposed to something that I added on. Of course, I did have the Bubble Buff mods installed. Those are just absolutely necessary. It just really makes it easier to buff your entire party and takes away some of the monotony you can potentially have in the game otherwise. I did go with a good aligned gold dragon. So some of you have asked, what is it like if you use a more evil aligned gold dragon and go that route? I actually don't have any perspective on that. So I can't tell you much about how different it is based on the original Gold Dragon run. Maybe somebody who has done that can mention down in the comments here how cool they feel like it is and what sort of different content you get. I rolled with the Apsu deity, who is of course aligned with the side of good. And there definitely was reactivity in the game for this deity, but in my opinion, it wasn't a crazy amount of reactivity. It felt pretty much in line with what all the other deities have, and honestly, maybe a little bit less. I felt like Apsu only popped up a couple of times in Act 5, and it was all specifically revolving around the Gold Dragon mythic path, as opposed to some of the other deities where I feel like they have reactivity that pops up that has nothing to do with what mythic path you are on. So overall, I kind of walked away feeling a little disappointed and how much I got out of picking that deity. But again, if you chose the Hawk, you might have a completely different experience, or maybe it was just the way that I played through the game that caused that. One thing I did enjoy immensely was Ulbricht's quest line, which I had never done before, and I thought it was really well handled. There was a ton of content for him in Act 3, and I felt like the way it wrapped up in Act 5 was pretty cool as well. It was also interesting that there were multiple achievements associated with finishing his content. So all the way around, I felt really good about the way his stuff turned out. All right, now let's circle back to that question of, is it worth you doing a completely new playthrough to experience the new Gold Dragon content? In my mind, there are three aspects of the update that will cause you to do that, right? One is the new deities, two would be the new mechanics, and then three would be the two new redeemable NPCs that you have. We've already touched on the deities. I only know about Apsu. I can't speak on the Hawk. From the standpoint of Apsu, I don't feel like the reactivity is that crazy. So let's deal with the other two aspects of this, but I'll tell you up front, my answer is no. I don't think it's worth doing a completely brand new playthrough for this content if that's the only thing you want to experience. If you just want to play Wrath of the Righteous again, then obviously Gold Dragon could be a great choice, but I don't think this update in and of itself gives you enough for it to be worth it. The new mechanics upgrades are absolutely fantastic. I already have a separate video going through them, but depending on your build, they can make a major difference in your playthrough. I do find it a little annoying that it kind of seems like Gold Dragon leans more towards spellcasters than martial characters. It's almost like if you're a martial character, they want you to just sit in the Gold Dragon form in order to get the advantages, which doesn't make sense because that form is so massive, it's extremely difficult to use inside spaces. Although I did find out during my playthrough that you can use the Gold Dragon form while mounted on your Griffin, which absolutely has to be a bug, but at the same time, it's hilarious and insane. But overall, it seems like the mechanics kind of tilt in that direction. Like even the cloak you get, it's all really based around you being a spellcaster. And so that aspect of it is a little annoying, but no doubt the mechanics changes that they made are very impactful. And pretty much no matter what type of character you're trying to create, Gold Dragon is going to be able to help you. But keep in mind, you're not going to get Gold Dragon until Act 5. And really, you don't unlock the serious aspect of Gold Dragon until you can do a complete transformation at Mythic level 9. And so when you look at the amount of the game where you actually get access to full Gold Dragon mechanics, it's so small that it's hard to recommend a full playthrough off of just that content. As far as the two characters you can redeem, I think pretty much everybody by now already knows their identities, so I'll just go ahead and spell it out here. The two new characters you can redeem that you couldn't before are Holron and Nura. Now, Nura to me is disappointing because I feel like the way it works out with her isn't really all that different from how it works out in a regular playthrough if you're able to figure out that she's the one betraying you. So it doesn't really feel like you pulled her back from the brink. Holron is better, most certainly, because a lot of players wanted the opportunity to go deeper with him and make it clear like, hey, the way you've conducted yourself was completely wrong. And as a Gold Dragon, you get more of that opportunity to confront him on the things that he's done and really force him to see that, hey, you were wrong and you abused these people and you should be ashamed of that behavior. I thought the dialogue between the Gold Dragon and Holron was handled very well. It was done really nicely. And I thought the ending slide for Holron was really cool as well, and very different from what he gets in the main game. And so those two aspects I really enjoyed regarding the update. Is that enough for you to do a brand new playthrough? Again, I would probably say no, but it was especially well done. And once again, all the way around, I had a great time with Gold Dragon. It was so nice being back in this game again. This is probably going to be the last playthrough that I do of the game for years. You know, probably not until Owlcat announces either they're going to remaster the game or they're going to do another Pathfinder game or something of that sort. But it's hard to imagine that I'll have time to come back again to this game anytime soon. So it was really nice to have this opportunity. And you all already know, I'm looking forward to what Owlcat does next. So anyway, those are my thoughts regarding the Gold Dragon update. If you have any questions that I didn't already answer, definitely leave me your thoughts and comments down below. Looking forward to it, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.